Ali Madad. I hope you are all keeping well and safe. My name is Amina Gawawala, and I will be your host for this evening. Before I share the program for tonight, here are some of the highlights of the upcoming activities this week. Tomorrow, we begin the day at 9:30 a.m. with Seema Yoga by our inspirational Dr. Rabia, where you can learn the art of embodied movement and experience deep relaxation. The Golden Club is a little later, at 12:30 p.m., and consists of faith and well-being talks. In the evening, why not join the Aga Khan Youth and Sports Board's Show Me How series, which tomorrow at 4 p.m. is all about learning the art of calligraphy. We kickstart some of the physical exercise classes in the coming week with the energizing chair and standing exercises class on Tuesday at 11 a.m., led by Parvez. On Wednesday, the Women's Activities Portfolio are hosting WAP Sisterhood, a digital, safe space for women to come together, support one another, and create meaningful connections in a time of uncertainty and upheaval. This session will be focused on getting to know your strengths. On Thursday, we have a number of activities, starting with the social circle at 11 a.m. with a variety of stimulating activities. We also have the penultimate class of Season 2's popular Talking Hands. This is an 8-week introductory course to British Sign Language, taught by the fantastic team Farah, Zara, and Nabi. And if that wasn't enough, once again, Bolly Beats will be on Thursday with the beginners class at 8 p.m. and the intermediate class at 8:30 p.m. for anyone wishing to keep fit and stay active whilst having fun, especially whilst gyms are still closed. I'd also like to remind you of a new social media initiative launched by the Women's Activities Portfolio, WAP Recognizes. This aims to spotlight brilliant members of our Ismaili community who are actively striving to achieve gender equality or challenge gender stereotypes. Look out for these spotlights on the Ismaili UK's social media platforms each month. Now on to tonight's program, which comes courtesy of the Aga Khan Youth and Sports Board's Stories on the Rooftop series. The Stories on the Rooftop initiative is an opportunity for the Jamaat to come together and share inspiring stories and experiences with an objective to unite and engage participants by creating learning space for arts and culture. This week's Stories on the Rooftop is with Salim Merchant, one of India's most respected composers. He has scored more than 100 films and appeared in over 20 TV shows with his brother Sulaiman, and they have composed for theatre as well. Tonight, we join Salim as he shares his musical journey from where it all started. That's all from me. I hope you enjoy tonight's program. Continue to stay safe, stay well, and stay at home. Ya Ali Madad.
Welcome to a very special edition of Stories on the Rooftop. For those of you who don't know, Stories on the Rooftop is an opportunity for the Jamaat to come together and share inspiring stories and experiences with an objective to unite and engage participants by creating a learning space for arts and culture. Today we have with us Salim Merchant, who is among India's most respected composers. He has scored more than 100 films. The brothers Salim and Sulaiman have scored over 20 TV shows and have composed for theatre as well. I won't take too much of your time because I know we want to hear from Salim more than anyone else. So Salim will share his story. Without any further ado, I will now hand over to Salim Merchant. Thank you very, very much, Salim.
Yeah, Ali Madat, everybody. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to Stories from the Rooftop. It's for me, it's bedtime, so it's. But this is my time. I actually love working at this time, and I love creating music at this time. I'm really fortunate, honestly, as I must say that I'm an Ismaili. And when I say I'm fortunate that I'm Ismaili, uh, I have such an amazing story, which I feel I'm really blessed. Very early in my life, I was singing ginans in Jamaat Khana, and everything started really early. I was just about 5 or 6 years old, and the whole inspiration of music started from singing ginans, quite honestly. And then when I was just when I turned about 10 or 11, I started formalizing my music education, and that's thanks to my father, Sadruddin Merchant, because he was a composer, he was a singer, and he was a musician. And we had a Jamaat Khana orchestra, which my father led. He was the leader of the orchestra. And at a very young age, me and my brother would look forward after Jamaat Khana to come home, quickly have dinner, and go back. Right below the Jamaat Khana, Darkhana Jamaat Khana in Mumbai, we had the orchestra office, which was like a rehearsal space. And the orchestra would practice there, especially before Navroz, before Imam Day, and before Salgare. And the orchestra started doing really well because we started doing some private functions, some charity functions. So as time passed, the orchestra was doing so well that the orchestra would practice almost like 10 days in a month, 15 days in a month sometimes. And that really inspired me and my brother because every day we used to go and witness the rehearsals. So from a very young age, the Chief Jamaat Khana Scouts Orchestra became our inspiration, became our goal. Both me and Suleiman as kids, wanted to excel in music, study music, so that we could be part of the orchestra. So we started studying music only so that after Navroz and after 11th July, Imam Day, and 13th December, Salgare, we would like to be on stage, after the Jamaat Khana activity. After Jamaat Khana, we would have a little concert, little performance in the Jamaat Khana compound as well. And that was our mission. That became our goal. So at the very young age of 9 or 10 years old, we were both. I mean, I was 10, my brother was 13. We started really practicing a lot, just for the mission to reach be on stage to perform at these three incredible functions. And that goal was successful. I studied piano at a very young age, and also harmonium. Studied Indian classical music. My brother studied tabla and drums, and yes, we did. We started becoming part. We started being part of the orchestra rehearsals, and ultimately joining Chief Jamaat Khana Scouts Orchestra uh, as musicians at a very young age. I was just 14 and my brother was 17. But that was the start of our musical career. Uh, like I said, like everything started from the Jamaat Khana, from Ginans to being part of the Jamaat Khana Scouts Orchestra. We started excelling in the orchestra, and me and my brother started making music at home, and then we continued our study as musicians. My brother and me, Suleiman, continued as a rhythm percussionist. I continued as a pianist, started playing harmonium, uh, but never gave up our services in Jamaat Khana. We always would be there for every Jamaat Khana function. as part of the orchestra. Uh, as time passed, we started getting a little bit, people started calling us to do recordings, to doing concerts outside the Jamaat. Very, very soon, we started doing music for movies, started doing background scores, started doing films, till a point where we composed some really good songs. Um, and that there again, where I was doing a movie called Kurban, uh, there was a song where I was supposed to attempt, where the script was that the main character, goes to the masjid and says, "Thank you, Allah, for the love I have." And I felt like maybe after composing the song was pretty simple. I mean, it was. नजरों से नजरें मिली तो जन्नत सी मैं की फिजाएं लब ने जो लब छू लिया तो आसमां से बरसी दुआएं ऐसी अपनी मोहब्बत ऐसी रूह इबादत हम पे मेहरबान हो जहां. So the song was composed, but I felt something was missing in the song. And just because the character in the film says, "Thank you, Allah," I felt it would be great to bring in Shukran Allah here. And and there again, I was always referencing my early years as as an Ismaili, doing ginans and bringing in some kind of a prayer, which is a devotional, which is of course our tasbih, Shukran Allah, Alhamdulillah. And I felt, why not like bring that in? Because he says, "Thank you, Allah, for the love I have." And I brought that in a song. Whatever happened to that song became really popular. I We also did a song in the same movie. I did a song called Ali Maula. That also got a lot of popularity and gained a lot of. And fortunately, a few years later, we got the opportunity to perform in front of Maulana Hazri Imam in Kenya, and that was an institutional dinner which we were invited for, and we performed there. And Hazri Imam heard Shukran Allah and Ali Maula for the first time, and he was so happy. He blessed us, and he told us that uh, I'm very happy that you're spreading so much happiness in this world through your music. I give you duashish to continue to do that. That changed my world, and it just changed me. It that was I felt that was just a magical moment in our lives. That same year, we performed for FIFA World Cup. That was 2010. We performed at the World Cup FIFA, and there was no looking back. It was just, one after the other. Films were just, you know, we were performing everywhere. We were doing lots of movies, and doing a lot of good music for generally for in films and television and otherwise. In 2013, I we composed a song called Bismillah, and that song was earlier composed for Coke Studios, and and we decided to release it on Eid, and that was Ramadan Eid in 2013. And then in 2014, we got the opportunity again to perform in front of Maulana Hazri Imam in in Mumbai, and again it was an institutional dinner. And here I felt like we must perform Bismillah because it was a brand new song, and obviously the committee was a little bit, they were a little scared. They didn't know how Bismillah would be appreciated because it was not so popular. But I felt it had a beautiful devotional vibe to it, and I sang that song in front of Hazri Imam and also Ali Maula again. And Maulana Hazri Imam was so happy. He uh, he came backstage and he blessed us again, and he said, "I'm really happy that you all make devotional music because devotional music uh, has been going on for centuries. Devotional music has been going on for centuries, and it will continue to go on for centuries. So continue making devotional music." And that was it. I felt like now every Eid we must every Ramadan Eid, we must release a devotional song. So we did a song called Allahu Akbar, then we did a song called Astaghfirullah, we did a song called um, Ya Khuda, we did a song called Noor Ilahi with Abidar Parveen. And then very recently, during this lockdown, we composed a song called Malik Mere. So every year from 2014, we released 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And very recently, during Ramadan, we released Malik Mere. So yeah, it's been a continuous blessing from Hazrimam. And we hope to continue to make devotional songs as well as other songs. And get all your love and all your support. I think I've said a lot.
Thank you so much, Salim, for sharing your story. Such an inspiration coming from the Ismaili Orchestra and to movies and TV and obviously performing for Hazrimam. So that's an inspirational journey. Thank you so much. A lot of people typing in the chat saying thank you and making us proud, and thank you for all your efforts. So just wanted to share that with you. So there's a question here that says, how do you choose which films you do the scores for?
I stopped doing horror films. But otherwise, I'm pretty open to comedy. I'm open to romance. I'm open to thrillers. I'm open to drama. I'm a cinema person, so I'm very open. But I used to do a few horror films, but I stopped doing that. I don't like to do them. I just say no. It used to affect me a little bit. So, but apart from that, I'm very open to doing. I love doing inspirational films. I love doing sports films. Um, I love doing films which are multi-layered, which have patriotism, which have women empowerment, and films which have messages that can make this world a better place. I love those movies. So I give preference to that, even if there is a lesser of a fee involved. I don't mind it. I'll do it. I'll do it if it has a message, a strong message.
Great. I guess, and sort of connected to that question is, how do you get the ideas for the devotional music?
Honestly, we've never planned our lives about how to go about doing devotional music or how to. We were very fortunate that we did movies like Qurban, even Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi had Tujh Mein Rab Dikhta Hai Yara Main Kya Karu. Although it's a romantic song, but it had kind of a devotional vibe to the song. It had a kind of a bhajan sort of a vibe to it, and of course, Qurban had Shukran Allah, which is basically a love song, but it has a really nice devotional vibe. Lots of our movies have, like, even Chak De, although it's a patriotic, I mean, it's a sports film. It has a layer of patriotism, but it had a song where the main character looks at the national flag and starts crying towards the end of the film, and even there's a song called Maula Mere Lele Meri Jaan. So it has it's connecting the nation to the Almighty. So there is I mean, we've just been very fortunate that we've done songs which have even a song, like a simple song like Khudaya Mein. It's a romantic song. Hai, ishq hai kaisa ye ajeeb mein. Or if it's a ऐ खुदा मुझको बता तू रहता कहाँ क्या तेरा पता हम तो यहाँ पे मुसाफिर है जो ढूंढे अपनी मंजिल का पता. So these songs are actually romantic songs, but it has the word khuda in it. It has any song which has some kind of a devotional connect to it. Just like Maulana Hazimam said, that has been going on for centuries and will continue to go on for centuries. It's so true. It makes the song timeless. And we've just been fortunate that we've had opportunities to do such songs. It wasn't planned. Honestly, it wasn't planned. It was part of the story, it was part of the script, it was part of the narrative, and we just did it.
Great, thank you so much, and for the rendition as well. There's a question here about working with the Coke Studio, with the collective. So could you share a bit more about that experience and working on different genres of music?
I always like to mix cultures. I especially folk music. I've always been very fascinated with folk music. If some of you who've come to the Jubilee concert, I know a lot of people from London have joined in. So when the Jubilee year started, we did a beautiful event in London, and that featured these folk singers, Mangania folk singers from Rajasthan. Uh, it had we even took them to Lisbon at the final Jubilee concert event.
Great. Um,
I love the sound of of folk music, of folk musicians, and Coke Studio allowed us to sort of kind of do that mix of contemporary music with traditional music. I love bringing traditional music, to the main stage. I love the sound of traditional music. I love the sound of traditional instruments and voices, and it brings a lot of color of heritage. Coke Studio allowed me to, sort of experiment with that and give me that, that chance to work with these musicians.
that's wonderful. Yeah, thank you. So the next question is, what is your favorite song and why? And what is your favorite city to perform in?
Oh, well, my favorite song is ये हौसला कैसे झुके ये आरज़ू कैसे रुके मंजिल मुश्किल तो क्या धुंधला साहिल तो क्या तन्हा ये दिल तो क्या तू ना तेरे ना तेरे ना तेरे ना तेरे it's a song that is gives you a lot of hope. It gives you a lot of it means ye hausla kaise jhuke. How do we give up on our hope? How do we give up on our faith? And how do we give up on the love that we have? So it's especially these difficult times, during COVID, during this pandemic. It has been a song. It has been an anthem for a lot of people, especially the health workers, people who are fighting, people who are struggling in these difficult times. It's a song that'll always resonate. It'll always be your favorite song. There's no really a particular place that I'm going to mention that this is my place that I love singing it, but it is one of my favorite songs.
You wouldn't want to pick a favorite city. um, so the next question is, please tell us about the story behind your Diamond Jubilee song with Rahat.
Well, I think I celebrate this song. I mean, I prefer. I wouldn't say I like Rahat's version better, but I enjoyed that version better because it had a different layer to Jubilee Mubarak, and but I also really enjoyed the version which features all our incredible Ismaili artists. And I was so happy when Maulana Hazri Imam during Diamond Jubilee met me and told me that I was very fortunate that he said that please tell all the artists that I'm really happy for the amazing talent that they are bringing forward, and lots of dua ashish to all of them, and that basically meant a lot to us, to me, and to the entire Jamaat, especially all the young talented singers, musicians, artists, actors, painters, all kinds of people who are into arts. So there was a big, very big dancers, a very big push, and I really enjoyed that version, which featured all the Ismaili artists. It was so special. Just at the opening of the Jubilee year, we did this song, and I just like, I mean, it was just one of those evenings where I Jubilee Mubarak Bola, Jubilee Mubarak Bola, Ali Nabi Aulade Ali Shah Kareem Bola, Jubilee Mubarak Bola, Jubilee Mubarak Bola. It just felt really nice. It was a simple song, which kind of made me feel that, it's it's Thanksgiving to our Imam. It's it's wishing him, many 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 years of imamat, and I felt it was a great moment. And I remember when I finished, when Suleiman and me had just finished this part, I literally had tears in my eyes because I couldn't believe that we've done it. It was very simple, but yet it was very spiritual, and it was very powerful.
Definitely. We saw people doing a bit of a sway and singing along just then. So it's definitely one that, that is special to everyone, I think. The next question is, how do you balance your work life and your home life? And how do you have quality time with your family?
My family is pretty understanding. I'm not at home much, but they're understanding. They've realized that my life is not mine or not theirs. It's for the world. And when Hazri Mom told me that, I'm very happy that you spread so much happiness in this world through your music, I realized that my life had a different purpose. It wasn't just about being, you know, a common person, being a family man, or just making music for uh, for some recognition or anything like that. It's about spreading happiness in this world through your music. It's about spreading positivity. It's about helping people. It's about doing, good things.
Well, we thank them too. Um, the next question is about balancing being a composer, singer, and songwriter. So is it hard when you're told to do one or the other? And which do you do more of? Is it singing, composing, or songwriting?
I'm a composer, and I'll always be that. Um, I'm first of all, I'm a musician, and I like playing. I like to play my piano, my keyboard, and that's my main thing. As a musician, I got a lot of opportunities to compose music as a composer, and then of course, as while composing, I was singing those songs, so I turned into a singer. But I will never, take my basics away from my art. So I prefer composing music. To answer your question, yeah.
Thank you. So the next question is, who is the artist, past or present, Eastern or Western, who you would most likely who you most like to perform with?
There's a singer called Sukhwinder Singh. He has a beautiful, powerful voice. The voice is very like unearthly, kind of, just really touches you. I love him. He's my favorite singer.
Great. So do you think being an Ismaili has given you a unique selling point or something that makes you stand out in your industry?
Indeed, of course. I we all are blessed because we have our Imam to guide us. I certainly feel very, very fortunate that I have a I have a spiritual leader. We have our we have a Hazri Imam to guide us, to bless us. Uh, I am, of course, feeling really fortunate that I've met him, and he's given us so many times. He's blessed us, and told us such beautiful things that they've become our lessons for life to carry on.
Thank you. What are the top 3 qualities or traits you think are needed to become a successful artist?
Uh, you need to. There are 3 things. One is it starts with to believe in yourself, to have, which is very important. Like a lot of times you don't have that faith that you have something amazing. You got to understand the Almighty blesses everybody with a special talent, and you have to believe in that talent, you know. And only when you believe that you will work hard. And then, second, which is very important, is to work hard. Like it's the most important thing. You know, like nothing comes, no pain, no gain. It's just the rule of life. You know, it's it is what it is. If you don't work hard, you can't get anywhere. You need to get that knowledge. You need to study. Even Hazrat pushes everybody to educate yourself, to be meritocratic. Is that the word he used? One of the farmans. It's very very important for you to be up to date, to know, to constantly keep learning, constantly. Even if you've achieved success, it's just it's just a place, it's just a destination. The journey is still pending. You got to continue. So uh, so that's the second thing. Work hard is very very important. Working hard, so believe, work hard. And the third thing, it sounds a little weird but it is true, is luck. It is true. You need luck by your side. A lot of people work really hard, they believe and work really hard, but अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो बोलते हैं ना, मेहनत और किस्मत, ये दोनों साथ में होना बहुत जरूरी है. बोथ ऑफ दीज, किस्मत और मेहनत. एंड किस्मत अगर नहीं होती है तो मेहनत कितना भी करो वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं होता. So yeah, these three things, they are very basic. Of course there is a big your experiences teach you many many more things, but these three things are key for to be happy. I won't say success is a very kind of a weird word, you know. The day you feel you're successful, it's game over, according to me. So, but you can be happy and content with these three things.
Definitely. Thank you. Here's an interesting one. Do you still get asked to say Ginans in JK?
Yeah, of course. I did the last Imamat day last year. I did Sahib Ji Tu More Mandavinti. I did it. It was, yeah, I did it last Imamat day, exactly a year ago. In
Right.
Bandra Jamaat Khana. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is, how is it performing with your brother?
It's fabulous. It's great. He compliments me. I compliment him. We've grown up listening to music. We've studied music together. He's been my brother, my partner. I mean, it's incredible.
No sibling rivalry then?
Well, that happens. But, you know, these are like very basic things. Ultimately, music always wins. So that's the key. That's the most important thing.
So the next question is, what was it like performing with Abidar Parveen?
So we haven't really performed together yet, but we collaborated on the song. Unfortunately, she could not come to Mumbai. She lives in Islamabad in Pakistan. We were going to meet in Dubai, but that didn't happen. So ultimately, she recorded in Islamabad, and we recorded here in Mumbai. And we just got her vocals and we mixed it. But we filmed it in a very interesting way, that she was there and we were here, and and it was a great experience. I called her. When I called her up, she picked up the phone and she said, "I'm so glad. Arey Salim Saab, aapka phone aaya, bahut bahut shukriya." And she's thanking me that I called her. She's such a sweet lady. So I was like, well, I really wanted to call you to ask you if you could do a song with us. And she said, you know what? I was going to call you to do the same, because your Bismillah song is so popular in Pakistan that I wanted to make a song with you. So I've said, well, then I think I heard you, and I'm just calling you to do exactly that. And then we made Noor Ilahi. Yeah.
Great. So next question is, do you ever have any challenges with film directors or others who may have their own ideas and might restrict your musical creativity or approach? And if so, how do you deal with that? And following up, do you approach film directors with your creations, or do they approach you?
Fortunately, we've never approached any film director yet. Been very fortunate that everybody has approached us. Uh, and I've never needed to go to anybody and knock anybody's door. Uh, it's not about being like having that pride or anything like that. It's just that we've been fortunate. Like we've been very hardworking and people have knocked our door instead of us knocking their door. Um, Coming back to your first question, uh, I feel like music is always about people. I can make music and do whatever I want to, but when I have people's energies together, it multiplies and becomes beautiful. Be it a band, be it starting with my brother, then being a band, and then even being people like yourselves in an audience. It just makes a big difference. Similarly, when you're making music for films or with a director, with a producer, having them in the studio, giving you inputs, we all take it in a very positive way. All this really helps the process of filmmaking, of cinema. Cinema is a team effort. It can't be a one person's thing. It's not the director's baby. The director, depends upon a lot of HODs, a lot of people. The actor, the music composer, the lyricist, the cinematographer. So many people. So it's always teamwork. So I look at it in a very positive way. If somebody gives you a suggestion, or if somebody doesn't like what you're doing, it's always good to take that rejection in a very positive way. It makes you ready for the world. Gives you really a good a good lesson for life.
Thank you so much for that. So the question here is, would you be able to share some of the struggles that you face and what you had to overcome to achieve what you have today, which would be an inspiration to others who are trying to make it in the same industry?
I was working on a movie called Chak De India. And when I read the film was, it had so many layers. It was patriotic. It had women empowerment. It had, it was a sports film. Uh, but the patriotic angle was pretty interesting. And I felt like we should do a patriotic song as a title song for the movie. And, we like, we made like a song which was very kind of slow, emotional. सर उठाना है ला रा 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 जीत जाना है ला रा ला 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 रा ला चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे चक दे. It was something like that. I don't remember the tune. Very emotional song, very kind of patriotic. The producer, the director, they didn't like it. I'm not doing it the way it was. I'm forgetting the melody, so I'm just kind of rambling through it. But it had a very beautiful feeling. I really liked the song, but the producer, director didn't like it. That was exactly your last question. I kind of started feeling a little. I felt bad that because I worked really hard on it. But I was like, never mind, we'll work. I asked the director what he wanted, and he said, I want a sports anthem. Need a really powerful song. I said, okay. I felt this was quite powerful, but anyway, I felt like so I understood he needed a kind of a song with a beat, and he needed like a fast-paced sort of an action-packed song. So we made a song which had a lot of beats and a lot of emotion, but he didn't like that as well. And then I did a third attempt, which I did like. Fourth attempt, fifth attempt. We were failing in every attempt. I came to a point where I saw a wall in front of me. It looked like a hurdle which I'd never be able to accomplish. I told Suleiman, let's give up this film. ये film नहीं करते यार, छोड़ देते हैं film को. And Suleiman was like, I don't think we should give up. We should do something. Let's try. I called the producer and asked him to give me another brief. The producer said that he wants a Jumma Chumma. Now, I don't know how you guys have heard Jumma Chumma De De, Jumma Chumma De De, Jumma. So I'm like, I really felt like, oh my God, this film is really not for us. Is he crazy that he's talking about Jumma Chumma in a film like Chak De India? He said, no, I want Chak De India. Chak De India, India. Like Jumma Chumma De De. Exactly like that. I said, no, listen. Leave it to me. I understood what he wanted. Um, and I went back to Suleiman and I said, listen, I don't think we can do this film. We should not do it. He said, no, we must do it. We must do it. Kuch karte, kuch karte, kuch karte. From that word, kuch karte hai, I got an idea that why don't we start the song with saying kuch kariye, kuch kariye. Kariye means in Punjabi means let's do something. Let's do something. Let's do something. And I called the lyricist. He came the same evening. He came to the studio and I said, look, I have nothing with me. I just have kuch kariye and I have chak de. But because he was singing Jumma, Chumma De De, and he was singing Chak De, India, I felt maybe it's good to have Chak De repeated. Chak De, India. So I told him, look, I have Kuch Kariye and I have Chak De, India. So he said, let's repeat Kuch Kariye also. So I said, okay. So he started writing. Kuch Kariye, nas nas meri khole, hai kuch kariye, kuch kariye, bas bada bole, ab kuch kariye. The song started from there and it just seemed to work. Like Suleiman put some rhythm beats on it and I started singing and I started playing and the song shaped up. Koi to chal zid padiye, doobe tariye, amariye, hai koi to chal zid padiye, doobe tariye, amariye, chak de India. It just seemed like suddenly the song had a story. It had a shape. And I called Sukhwinder Singh, my favorite singer. He came and he sang it, and the song was done. The model of the story is a hurdle which looked like a wall in front of me. We just somehow worked really, really, really hard and broke that wall and reached a point where I felt I could have never ever reached. So don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. You don't know what you're capable of doing till you don't really test yourself, till you really push yourself. You don't know what you can do. You can make the impossible possible.
Great. So the next question is, what is the shortest time you've composed a song in?
About 5 hours.
Wow.
It was. हौले हौले से हवा लगती है, हौले हौले से दवा लगती है. It was this song. About 5-6 hours. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What are you working on at the moment? And can you tell us something about your upcoming projects?
We're doing a beautiful album called Boomi 2020. Boomi means the earth, of course, Boomi. That's going to release around Diwali. That's an album which has beautiful singers like Shreya Ghoshal, Arijit Singh, Kaushiki Chakravarti, Sukhwinder Singh, Jonita Gandhi, Osman Mir, lots of incredible musicians like Vishwa Mohan Bhatt. It's one of our most ambitious project. Watch out for it. It's called Boomi 2020. Suleiman and me have just launched our own record company, our own record label. It's called Merchant Records. Thank you very much. I can see all the claps. Thank you very, very much. It's all because of the love and support of all of you and prayers. This music label is going to release beautiful music. It's a boutique music label. It's not a commercial music label. We are going to release a lot of beautiful songs, be it thumris, ghazals, qawwalis, some pop songs, some rock songs, some inspirational songs. We are going to do some hip hop as well. It's going to be all kinds of music, everything under the sun. A lot of record labels, a lot of music companies don't promote ghazals, classical music, thumris, qawwalis. We are going to change that. We will explore all genres and give every musical person an opportunity to participate.
Thank you. And I know it's getting late there, so we'll just do a couple more questions and then we'll let you go. Other than music, what do you do for fun?
I play video games.
I'm sure many of us can relate to that too. And how do you keep mentally well?
That's never been a problem. I pray, I do my duas, and do my music. That's it.
Great. So the last question is coming back to inspiration. A few people have been asking about that. And is there someone or something that gives you inspiration? You talked about it earlier, but there's been a few questions about that.
My inspiration, there are loads of people. I mean, to start with, my father was my big inspiration. He's no more. Um, I look up to Ustad Zakir Hussain. He's a big inspiration. And the reason why I say that is because he's an amazing human being. I feel, being a musician, being a successful musician, being a star, being all that stuff is just very temporary. Being a good human being is permanent, is something that will last forever. And that's something that you must learn, how to handle yourself, and how to be able to give knowledge to people who need that, to spread your joys and your experiences with people. And I've learned a lot from Ustad Z. And I mean, I learn from everybody, like from my colleagues, my friends, whoever I interact with. So I've always kept my inspirational window open, and my brain open, my mind open, my heart open for all the knowledge and inspiration.
Well, that's a lovely way to end. But before we let you go, could we get one more song?
हिम्मते अता करो ओ आप ही हो कुव्वते परवरदिगार मौला 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 हो शाहे मर्दा शेर अज़दा जाफिदा तुम पे मौला ओ मौला मौला हिम्मते अता करो ओ मददगार मौला ओ मौला आप ही हो कुव्वते परवरदिगार मौला ओ मौला ओ शाहे मर्दा शेर यज़दा जाफिदा तुम पे मौला ओ मौला Ali, Ali, Ali.
Wow, Salim. On behalf of everyone, I would really, really like to thank you for giving us your time this evening, especially as it's so early in the morning for you. We are deeply honoured to hear your story, and also that you shared the words that Mola shared with you. Thank you so much. We are very lucky and fortunate to have you singing for us today as well. And I'd also like to thank everybody for joining us to hear Salim's story today.